Okay, as a reminder, just wait for the microphones, okay? Open it up for questions for Max. Steve, in the front.
Max, why do you think you struggled like that tonight?
I felt like my fastball was running on me. I didn't have a good fastball location. Every time, for me, working glove side with my fastballs, usually when I execute that, it stays on plane on the glove side, part of the plate, and then usually has ride. And so I keep on the on the glove side. From watching the film and just watching how they were able to take swings. My fastball was running on me. I wasn't able to command that fastball the way I usually can, and that's my bread and butter to be able to set up everything else. And when my fastball's flat and then running, that's usually when I get hit a lot. And obviously tonight, I got hit a lot. Don't know why that is. I thought I made the right adjustment to come in tonight. Usually, when I'm in the right position, usually the fastball has ride. Tonight it didn't.
Max, as someone who has talked about relishing these types of moments and having success in these types of games, just what is your level of disappointment right now with how tonight went?
Yeah, of course I'm disappointed, but I don't know. I mean, the baseball can take you to the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and this is one of the lowest of lows.
Down here on the right.
You mentioned not knowing why the fastball was flat, et cetera. How unusual is that for you to, 2 starts in a row now, not really be able to put your finger on what's going on? Well,
I thought I made the right, I had a feel for what was going on in the Atlanta start, thought I made the adjustment to get me right. And that's why I can't, tonight, I don't know why the fastball ran. I don't know why I didn't have my good fastball, the way it can usually pitch and locate. There were several. There's just several fastballs I watched tonight where the fastball almost looked like it was sinking versus having ride. So yeah, that's gonna be a late night for me.
What would your advice to the group be going into an elimination game tomorrow?
Just win, come to the park. They've done it the whole year. Turn the page, move on, compete the next time. We got Jay going tomorrow, so that'll be good.
Anthony, to the left.
Max, I know you've been insistent that there's been nothing physical. The oblique is fine. Was there anything at all physical that affected you in this start?
Yeah, I don't think so. I felt good.
Down here in the front. All right, we're going to hand him in the back.
Max, you said this is one of the lowest of lows. Assuming you get a chance to pitch again in this postseason, do you think you'll be able to put this out of your head, or how will that affect you going forward?
Oh, of course. I can make adjustments, come back and attack. I know what I need to do to be successful. If I get another shot to pitch, I know what I need to do.
Barry?
Hey, Max. How much do you think the time you missed and the intermittent injuries had an effect on you, that gets you to this point?
I don't know. Came back from the last one, the Milwaukee start. I was locked in, executing pitches. Went to the Oakland start, was executing pitches, and then the wheels fell off. I don't know why.
Anything else for Max? Thanks, Max.
What's up?
Okay, Steve. Steve's going to start us off.
Buck, Max talked about his fastball just not being there today and felt like he didn't have the normal ride on it. At times it was almost sinking. When did it look to you like he was off with that pitch?
Well, he's got such good command of all his pitches. He was having trouble getting the ball away from his glove side. He's trying to throw the ball in, for instance, to Bell, and he can't get it there. He had a lot of pitches that were leaking on him, but, with Max, that's happened before. Early in the outing, he's made the adjustments, and tonight he wasn't able to. But, we didn't score any runs, regardless of what, obviously, the expectations for Max are always high because of his track record, but, we just didn't score any runs. We knew Darvish was going to be a challenge, and he was.
How much does a stunning night like that from a guy who's pitched in, such huge games throughout the course of his career, how much of an effect does that have on the group itself?
I don't, sure word stunning, we know how hard it's not. We know how hard it is to do what Max does and how much we appreciate it and how good other pitchers are. That's why you're playing this time of year. So we've had that, it's happened some. We've had, and guys have fought their way through it. Just tells you how good Darvish is, because our guys obviously had a lot of want to. And, we had man on third and one out twice, a chance to hit back early and gain some, momentum getting back into it. Usually we answer there and we had a chance to, but Darvish wouldn't let us.
Stay in the first row there on the left.
You kind of mentioned it right there, Buck, but what do you think allowed Darvish to settle in there? Because you did have that opportunity to get to him early.
He's got two breaking balls. He really throws so many pitches and he commands them. But I think he threw. I know there were a number of times behind the count. There are no hitter counts with him. As far as everything's there's two shapes of breaking balls. Really three with the cutter, the slider, and the curveball when he wants to. He made some pitches with that even to the left-hand hitters, but. Obviously Max, with the expectations that he has, for himself and what he's done for us and throughout baseball, but, Darvish is on top of his game. We knew that was going to be a challenge, but he's just got so many things you have to defend. I think he ended up, did he walk anybody? I know he had one hit by pitch, and, that's the difference. And, our bullpen pitched real well tonight out of there, but we just couldn't figure out a way to get some runs, some offense going. That was the story for me, that the job that they did from a pitching department.
And can you,
starter?
sorry about that, can you also confirm that it's going to be Jacobs tomorrow?
Yeah, Jake will pitch tomorrow.
Straight back there in the middle. Wait for the mic. Raise your hand. There you go.
Got to get some more mics.
Hey, Buck, just to that point, when you made the decision to pull Max, just take me through your thinking about bullpen order, and, was there any thought to maybe Peterson and length first, or just sort of how you came about the order that you did out of the rest of this one?
I'd really like to keep Pete real short so that he's available the next 2 days, something he hasn't done a whole lot of, and we were able to by picking the inning. And whatever order we did, they certainly pitched real well out of there. So I want to get Michael out there too. And I thought that all those guys, I feel confident with them. Lugo's pitched real well against left-handed hitters through that rip we had there. So, May's a guy that can get ready quick and get in the game, and didn't want to. We've actually been able to pitch him last couple of times, finish up an inning and go back out there. That wasn't something he was able to do earlier in the year.
Barry?
Hey, Buck. So Max said he was feeling fine, but he really didn't have an answer to what kind of a cumulative effect the injuries, the side injuries, has had on him and missing time for much of the year. Do you think that when you don't have an answer for why something is happening, that could be part of the reason?
Oh, always. Nobody looks in the mirror harder than Max. He's always trying to figure it out. And I'm hoping that we can play well and give him a chance to get back out there. But, that's going to be up to us starting tomorrow. And, he's a guy that doesn't chase excuses. He wouldn't even bring it up unless you ask him the question. I know you do, and it's normal because you got a guy that pitches, most of the time so well, and when it's not there for him against a good team, those questions get asked. But, I'm sure it's something that we'll look at the right time. We always do. But, I'm like you see it and you go, what is there something going on there? But, if you've been around Max as much as we have, he doesn't chase anything other than the mirror. And, we'll look at it, though. Obviously, when you see something that break from what your expectations are, you do look at things like that.
Yeah. Comparatively, it reminds me of what happened to him coming out of the NLDS last year into the championship series, where he struggled and then could never even get back into the series.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't live in. He learns some things and he moves on. There was nothing. he'll be in the dugout tomorrow pulling for Jake and our club and hoping he gets another chance to pitch for us. But it's just a competitive nature. You can imagine how he must, how frustrating it is for him. But his command is the thing that is frustrating for him. He's got good stuff, but usually when he can command 3 pitches and sometimes 4, it's fun to watch. But he had a pitch on Bell in the home run. He's trying to throw a ball a certain place and it leaked completely away from where he wanted to, and that's what was frustrating for him.
Andy?
Buck, you sense any surprise from the team that to go from leading the division for most of the season to all of a sudden now you're facing elimination probably sooner than a lot of guys expected? Is that a feeling that you sense and something that you have to help them with?
No, it's reality, and our guys have stayed in that the whole time. I mean, we've ended up same record with somebody else in our division, and we're getting an opportunity now. We'll get one tomorrow to right the ship, and I know our guys will come out and present themselves well, and I've got a lot of confidence in them.
Okay, last one, then we're going to get Jacob up here. So, Andy?
Buck, just to be clear, if you're going to get to where you want to go,
Back
you're going to lean on Max pretty hard this month. I mean, do you have concern that he's physically compromised?
Not necessarily. I'm lean on. Max and Jake have fought through some things to get to this point, and we've had other people pitch well, holding the fort down because we played 162 games, 163 now, and Max and Jake will be the first to tell you it takes a large group, but. As far as riding, we're going to try to win tomorrow night's game and see where we are. And then we'll, like talking Ronnie, we'll see where we are with Jake, and Max, and if there's an adjustment we may, we'll make it. I hope not. Guys are human beings. Sometimes we expect them to be, sometimes exactly what they've done in the past. It doesn't happen every time. The other team's good too. This is hard to do, and my money's on Max and on figuring it out, and Jake, and hopefully Bass if we can get there.
Okay, thanks, Buck.
Okay, thank y'all. All right.
Okay, first question for Jacob. Steve, down the front.
Jake, you've obviously pitched in an elimination game before back in 2015. Just looking back on that experience, what does it take to be successful in a do-or-die moment like that?
Yeah, the one in 2015, I didn't have my best stuff. So go out there and you leave it all out on the field. You go out there and compete. You try to execute to the best of your ability and try to keep your team in a position to win.
Where do you feel like you're at physically right now? I know you've been dealing with that blister. Just how close to 100% is it right now?
Finger's good. I feel really good. Was able to get off the mound twice this week and felt great. I look back at that at Atlanta start, and I made a couple mistakes that they capitalized on. Other than that, I felt like I threw the ball pretty well. So, the goal is to eliminate mistakes in big situations and try to stick to your game plan.
Andy on the left.
Jacob, you've got the chance now to save or extend this team's season, and you've been on a lot of Mets teams now in your career. What's special or unique about this particular year and team, and what would it mean to you to be able to keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, it would mean a lot. I missed half of the year, and these guys did a great job. The other starters did a great job, holding it down, like Buck said, while me and Max missed some time, and wanted to come here and contribute as much as I could. So definitely it's a huge goal of mine to keep this thing going and pass it along to Bassett.
Anthony?
Can you just take us through what you had to do to heal the blister over the past week or two, and how close to 100% is it right now?
Yeah, like I said, my finger feels fine. I felt like I could have kept going in Atlanta, but it was just like, do we want to go too far where I got to miss one or two with the plan of possibly pitching Wednesday? So the extra days, like I said, I threw off the mound twice this week without any issues.
Are you still treating it in any way?
No, I mean, it's the dead skin's all peeled away, and it feels fine.
In the left there in the middle.
How much over the last 7 years have you thought about your next postseason start and when it would eventually come?
Yeah, we were in a wild card game in 2016, and I had a surgery at that point. So, your first full year in the big leagues, you make it to the World Series. You got a taste of what that's like, and the goal is to get there every year. And this will be my first time in 7 years pitching in the postseason, and first time at Citi Field. So I'm excited. And like I said, you go out there and execute to the best of your ability, and leave it all out on the field.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you've never made a postseason start here. What might that be like for you?
I'm excited. I've said it before, I love pitching here. This is a great atmosphere to play in. Fans have been great to me. So I'm excited to go out there and see what I can do.
Stay there on the left, Stephanie.
The strategy of waiting for the result of tonight's game to decide whether you would start or when you would start, do you think that was a good idea?
Yeah, like I said, the way it worked out, was able to throw off the mound. When did I throw? Yesterday, and then 2 days before that. So it kind of stayed on how I would have pitched anyway. So I was able to get up there and throw. And like I said, finger felt fine. So I think it all worked out. And like I said, I feel good, so ready to go.
And as the game started to kind of get away from you guys, was there anything you could do, either mentally or physically, to start preparing, figuring that this probably was going to be you tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, the main preparation is going to be tomorrow when I get here. Going over scouting reports and throughout that game, you're watching that game and seeing what they're hitting and what they're not, and you come up with little things here and there. Whether it was tonight or whether it was Sunday that I was going to throw. So, was kind of paying attention and planning the whole way, just in case I had to throw.
Ian, over there, far left.
Just from the outside looking in, if you're not an elite athlete, the kind of pressure you would encounter tomorrow night would seem hard to manage. How do you channel that pressure into positive energy and results, and how difficult is it to do that?
That's what we love doing, competing, and going out there in big situations. And, you're going out there and like I said, you try to leave it all out on the field. You look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and know that you gave 100%. That's all you can do. So, but, I've been in an elimination game before and was able to battle through that one, and like I said, you got to go out there and just try to execute.
Jake, thanks a lot.
Yep.